shade. The air stays cool, the truest one, and I return to you.
I am sitting here waiting for my start time for the NC BAMP route, and just a moment ago a bat flew over my car and I picked up his vocalizations as he was hunting for dinner, and I actually saw him as he flew over. That was just so incredibly cool to actually see the bat and hear him at the same time. And I'm hoping he's going to fly back through again. He's somewhere here in the treetops. Oh, they're here. Two bats just buzzed me. Oh, not a bat, but really cool. I thought, man, that's the biggest bat in the world. There's bats everywhere. Wow, all kinds of bat activity. This is great. There he goes. Excellent. Hey folks, I'm really excited because tonight I'm going to be doing two extremely cool things to help wildlife. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to become a, well, Batman. Well, not really. I don't have a bat suit, and of course I don't have the Batmobile. And you know what, I don't have any really cool toys, except maybe this camcorder. But no, what I mean by that is I'm going to be participating in the North Carolina Bat Acoustic Monitoring Program, or BAMP for short. And what that means is I have strapped a device on the top of my car, right here. Now that is a, well, it's a bat monitor, and what it does is it picks up the, voice of the bats. Now, of course, we can't hear that very well because it's a much higher frequency than, I don't know what I'm hearing, but it might be bats. Anyway, it's a much higher frequency than what we can hear. As you know, bats use echolocation to find their prey, which would be flying insects. And as they're flying around in the sky, they're emitting these really high-pitched squeaks and squeals and clicks. And, of course, they get closer to their prey, and it bounces off their prey faster and faster, and then they zero in and nab their prey and eat it. Well, what the device that you just saw does is it picks up those transmissions from the bats, and it records them. Now, how is this good for the bats? How can it help with bat conservation? Well, bats are disappearing all over the east coast of North America, and it is thought to be because of a fungus basically known as the white nose syndrome, WNS, and a fungus that maybe causes that, called Geomyces destructicans, if I'm pronouncing my Latin correctly, which I was never very strong at. But anyway, this fungus is killing millions and millions of bats, and well, this is the reason I stopped caving. Because I can't ethically go into a cave until something is done about this. Well, maybe in one small part I'm going to help. That's why I want to do this. This monitoring project is the first of its kind. Well, at least here, it is gathering information on bats as they fly at night, hunting for food. And that information can then help the scientists and the wildlife conservationists and the biologists learn more about the bats, learn where they live, and of course learn about their population status. That's what I'm going to do. And I need to get going. My window is about to open in about 7 minutes, and then I'm going to head down this road, and I'm going to drive for 20 miles at 20 miles an hour. Yeah, down a country road at night with the top off. Beautiful spring night. It's going to be great. Listening for bats. Now I'm not going to hear them. The bat monitor will. And what's the bat monitor? Well, take a look at this thing. Right down here is the Anabat. This is the Anabat, and it is a device that was developed in Australia, and it is actually connected to the microphone that you saw earlier, and it is recording the sounds of bats. And right over here is a PDA that it is attached to. Maybe we can see it better. That might be bat language right there. I think it probably is. So anyway, that is what this device does. It records the sound of bats. And I have 3 minutes, so I better get underway. The data that this collects is extremely valuable, and I will drive 20 miles an hour through the middle of the woods at night if it means helping bats. So let's head out on this journey and see what we can hear. So off we go. That was a bat. It was my third bat. And I've only driven 9/10 of a mile. Oh, I hear the spring peepers. That's what I'm going to be doing on my return trip, is the Calling Amphibian survey project. I'll be listening to the calls of amphibians, such as the spring peeper. Oh, I think we just had a bat. Very cool. I've seen multitudes of insects in the headlights already. Ooh, look at that. That is just so cool. So cool. And all I gotta do is drive down the road and I'm helping bats. This is just awesome. Alright, well, I'm gonna turn off this camera and concentrate on maintaining 20 miles an hour. And I will update you later. I almost forgot to mention that each bat has a different call, and so you can identify the species just by looking at its call on the readout here. Now, I am not a bat biologist, so I do not know what species of bat made that call. But that's just crazy cool, isn't it? Really cool stuff. almost halfway through my route, and I've heard probably, I don't know, 30 or 40, 50 bat calls. There's one now. It's just so cool. This is just an amazing privilege to be able to help the bat biologist out and do this a very simple task of just driving down the road at night. It's simple to drive down the road at 20 miles an hour, but I guess the complicated part of it was learning about how to do everything correctly and follow the correct protocols, such as driving at 20 miles an hour, how to set everything up, plug everything in. Listen to the bats, boy. They're just going at it, gobbling up bugs. I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't be able to use a video camera and record while driving if it wasn't for the fact that this road is just devoid of traffic. Maybe that's because it's a Sunday evening. I would guess that's part of it. Yeah, I've seen 3 cars maybe in 10 miles. So that's great for me. Great for the bats. Because the less cars that are coming through their territory, the less chance they have of, well, meeting a car. There's another. Wow, that was really cool. Wow, that was just really neat. So those little zipping, those little buzzing sounds like a zipper. If I'm not mistaken, that's when the bat zeroes in on his target and his pulses come out faster and faster and faster so that he can narrow it down and get right up on the insect and nab it and eat it. Ooh, there's more. Oh, this is just too cool. So anyway, more later. Now this project was set up, as I said, because bats are suffering from this deadly plague, the WNS syndrome, and it's not just me that is helping. There's many individuals all across the state of North Carolina working together as volunteers. I have to stress that we're volunteers. We're not getting paid. We're doing this on our own time to help the bat biologists and other researchers learn more about the condition of our native bats. And really, you know, if you want to help wildlife, I believe firmly that you need to volunteer. I mean, it's one thing to get paid, but it's another to volunteer. You know, it's not going to get done the way our economy is right now. There's just not enough people, there's not enough manpower to make all of this happen, to do everything that needs to be done to protect our wildlife and our wild places. So it's going to take a lot of work on the part of the citizen scientists, such as myself, to go above and beyond, and you know, use your own time to make a difference. You know, what's amazing to me is I've heard hundreds of bats already, and this is just in the corridor that is created by the road. Imagine how many bats are out in the woods flying over the treetops right now, eating insects, devouring insects. And imagine what the world would be like without bats. I mean, how many, just think about it. How many insects does a bat eat in a night? Well, hundreds and hundreds. Okay, so then you take out all the bats in an area, and those insects are not going to get eaten. What does that mean for agriculture? What does it mean for our food? What does it mean for, well, do you even want to go outside if, well, you're covered in bugs? Yeah, maybe if you're an entomologist, but, oh, there's another one. So yeah, just think about that. Think about what the world would be like without bats. I don't want to think about that. It's a very scary thing to think about. Very dangerous. I haven't heard a bat in quite a while. Oh, I take that back. Oh, that was pretty neat. I think I just saw a bear back there on the side of the road. It was small and black, and when I passed it, it dove into the bushes with a loud crash. I think it was a small bear, probably a little cub, and nearby the mother must have been down off the road. But all I saw was a very dark blotch on the side of the road. Peepers. Peepers on one side, bats on the other. I'm sorry, and bears also. Well, I have less than a mile to go. I'm nearing the end of my bat route. Still picking up bats. Well, there you have it, folks. I've completed my first run of the North Carolina Bat Acoustic Monitoring Program. Well, I'd have to say that I'm really pleased with my results. I got a lot of hits on my bat detector, on the Anabat. Lots and lots of bat calls, several feeding calls. So I had a really exciting night. Not only have I heard hundreds of bat calls, but I believe I saw a bear. That was really cool. And I saw a few frogs hopping across the road. And now I'm going to turn around and run my route in reverse, because it just so happens that this same road is where I run the Calling Amphibian survey project. So, well, I'm a volunteer for that project as well. And basically what that entails is driving along this road and stopping at prearranged locations, listening for frogs, the calls of frogs and toads, and recording what I hear. Now that data that I'm collecting for the Calling Amphibian survey project helps out the North American Amphibian Monitoring Program, which is helping to monitor amphibians such as frogs and toads, of course, that call. And you can't really monitor salamanders without direct monitoring because, well, they don't make any sound. But so it's easy to monitor frogs and toads because, well, they make a sound. So you can just sit on the side of the road and listen. And if you know what you're listening for, then you can write that down. And it helps researchers, of course, learn more about the populations of the amphibians, just as with the bats. Of course, my acoustic monitor for amphibians is, well, my ears, because unlike the bats, amphibians, their call we can hear. You don't need any high-tech equipment. So let's go out and see if we can hear some frogs. So I'm hearing spring peepers. full of frogs. Green frogs. Now, I heard one gray tree frog a few minutes ago. There went a green off in the distance.
Spirit ever lingers in a song, and the mountain's gonna sing this song for me. Whoa, the mountain's gonna sing this song for me. Rock me off to sleep, and the mountain's gonna sing this song for me. Whoa.